Welcome to a book up session. My name's Ashley Gunn. Today's book review will be on A Part-Time Wife by Susan Mallery. I found Susan a couple of weeks ago and typed her into my Overdrive app and was surprised to find that she had 177 books that came up in the search. So if you love romance, I would absolutely recommend both getting the Overdrive app and reading her books through it. I chose to do a book review of A Part-Time Wife out of all of the books I read of Susan's because of the fact that I felt like I had some sage advice for people when I read this book. When I checked out the reviews for this book, I was shocked to see how many people wrote the words, "I have not read this book. I flipped through the last half of the book. I looked at the book but did not read it," and yet they left reviews. So don't pay attention to the 1-star reviews and the 5-star reviews. That's the reason I don't put them in here. It's because for me, it's not about whether or not this book fits my personality. It's about whether or not this storyline fits yours. So find books that appeal to you, and for Pete's sake, do not review books unless you've read them. I don't even know how that's a sentence I have to say, but it affects the income of the author, and it affects whether or not other people are going to read them. There are people out there that just look at that star rating and decide, and if you haven't read them, then your 1-star rating means squat. Don't put it there. Go find another book that fits your preferences better and read that. And I completely understand that not all books or genres work for all people, but bare minimum, you should include the storyline and have read the book before reviewing it. That being said, let's go to the storyline of this book. The main characters of this book are going to be Craig and Jill. Craig is an undercover police officer and has 3 amazing children, and so he's in need of a live-in nanny. He was married, but his wife, after giving birth to the 3rd child, decided she no longer wanted to be a mom or a wife. Jill has her own past and has been struggling since she was divorced, and not only did she lose her husband in that, but also her stepchildren. So now being a nanny is a way for her to love children without having to worry about risking her heart again. These 3 boys are absolutely amazing, and Jill is an incredible nanny to them. I know there was some controversy about the oldest son, Ben, so let's talk about it. He's 12 years old, and I don't know for sure that it was after his mother's death, but recently he has gained 20 extra pounds, which itself is not the end of the world. However, he just sits around, watch TV, watch movies, everything he used to like doing, such as playing baseball, he's stopped doing, and he's now become more of an introvert. He doesn't feel comfortable in his own skin. I think it's important to say that because Jill didn't necessarily see a kid that was overweight and decide she was going to fix him. She saw a kid that wasn't happy and decided that she was going to try and help him. She speaks to him one evening privately and lets him know that she does go on walks early in the morning if he'd like to join, as well as some dietary things that maybe he could change so that if he was really interested, this is what he could do. I want to point out that there's a time where he does go off the rails and start eating a whole bunch of junk food. She does not make him feel bad about it. In fact, she even says, "This is about you, not me. If you're comfortable doing that, that is completely fine." There was never a time I felt like she belittled him or pressured him into anything. As the book goes on, he's running, and basically, she's walking around the block and he's doing laps because once he starts losing the weight and feels comfortable, he takes control himself. There's even a part where he's given a piece of chocolate cake and he only eats half of it because that's what he's comfortable with. So she never deprives him or even makes him feel like he can't eat the same things as his brothers. Just mainly lets him know this is what's going to help you and this is the stuff that's going to hurt you. I'm going to just say, I know there was controversy about the fact there was a 12-year-old boy in the book that had weight issues, as well as the fact that it was the babysitter that stepped in and helped. However, I only think that's a problem if she was trying to force something on him, give him diet pills, make him fast, anything like that, and I'd have been completely on board. However, the fact that she's just suggesting a good diet and exercise, I absolutely think that's within the realm of a babysitter's job. I think the babysitter should feed kids healthy food. That's just my personal opinion. And when I read this book, it never occurred to me that she stepped out of bounds. Ben being overweight and his diet is not the entire storyline. You might think so if you read the comments, but this is just a portion. This is Ben's storyline. You also are going to have the other 2 boys as well as Jill and Craig. Obviously, Jill and Craig are going to have to overcome the baggage of their previous relationships if they're going to start anything new. Overall, I love the way Susan wrote the kids and the family. She's an incredible romance author. I definitely understand why she's had so much success. Like I mentioned, the Overdrive app, go ahead and check out on there. I also will add her website. It's the first link in my description so you can check out any other books that may not be available at the library. If you like this review, go ahead and like it. If you have any questions or comments, always leave those down below. You can also email me if you have specific questions. Subscribe if you want my reviews every week. Thank you all for joining me.